Good morning, everyone, and good Tavach and Shavua Tov. We are continuing here in KITZUR HILCHOS SHABBOS. New chapter today, Dinei Kiddush. We're talking about the laws of Kiddush, sanctifying the day with the cup of wine. Says the KITZUR, Ksiv, it says in the Torah, Zachar Yom HaShabbos L'Kaddoshay. Remember the day of Shabbos L'Kaddoshay, to sanctify it. Mikan Lamdu Chazal, from here Chazal learns, Shetzrichim liaskim Kiddushas Shabbos b'Yom Shabbos. You must mention and the Kiddusha, the holiness and the sanctity of Shabbos on Shabbos itself. V'chayevu Chachamim la'askir b'techilasa, and therefore Chazal said we are obligated to mention the Kiddusha, the sanctity of Shabbos, in the beginning of Shabbos. Ve'ala kais, and we do it in an honorable way on a kais, on a cup of wine. The asur litaim shum davar ba'ayit shalei amar kiddush, and you're not allowed to taste anything until you actually make kiddush. V'lav dafka ala kais, doesn't have to be only on a cup of wine or grape juice. Elagam ala pas yochelim la'imra. You can even say kiddush on the challah. Umikol malkaim lecharchila ein loichim pas the kiddush. However, lecharchila, meaning the best possible way, don't make kiddush on the bread, on the challah. Rakim ein yain matzi, only in a case where wine is not so prevalent, it's hard to find. Now again, in our day and age where the stores are packed with bottles of grape juice and wine, this doesn't apply often. In the olden days, it was much more difficult to have wine and grape juice around all of the time, and therefore it could have been more common that they would have to make kiddush on the challah. Sometimes people have a real difficulty drinking wine. It affects their constitution and their body in negative ways. And since that Shabbos was given la'aynik, for pleasure, then you don't have to drink the wine. Make the kiddush on the bread, on the challah instead. At the time that you are making kiddush on the wine, mechasim achalas, you have to cover up the chalas. Or if you're making kiddush and you're going to eat mezainos, you're going to eat cookies and cake afterwards. For example, many people do this Shabbos day before they get to the main meal. You should cover the mezainos, the cookies and the cake as well. And the reason is famously known because in a normal case of kedima habrachas, which means the order that you make blessings in, usually the bread always supersedes the wine and other food products. And over here, because of the kiddush that we are making, which is sanctifying the day, so the bracha that we're making on the glass of wine, that comes first. So what's going to happen? You'll make the bracha on the glass of wine, and you will push the bread off to the side, so to speak, and you are going to avoid making the bracha on that. Say the paiskim, what's going to happen? You're embarrassing the bread. By not making the bracha on it, what you usually would, it's almost like shameful to the bread that it takes second rate over here on Shabbos. So in order not to shame and embarrass the bread, we cover it. And that way, when you are making the bracha on the wine, it's almost as if the bread is not there, it's concealed. And that way, you can make the bracha on the wine, and there's no embarrassment at all that's going to be on the bread. Now, it sounds, what does that mean? You're not going to embarrass the bread. There is a famous story with the Horowitz, where he was once coming to a small town, and he was invited to eat by a certain person's house on Shabbos, Friday night. And they come into the house, and as they walk into the house, he sees that his wife did not put the challahs yet on the table. And he began berating his wife in the presence of the Horowitz. He was embarrassed that the table wasn't fully set, and he began berating his wife that not everything was ready. And the Horowitz turned to the man and he said, if the reason that we cover the challahs by Kiddush is in order not to embarrass the challahs, because we're making the bracha on the wine first, then alachas kama v'kama, all the more so. How could a person go and embarrass their wife because the challahs are not yet on the table? And therefore we learn a lesson from this. Just as we have to be sensitive to the challahs, all the more so we have to be sensitive to other people as well. and therefore we cover the challahs when it comes time to make the Kiddush. We'll continue tomorrow, Be'ezras Hashem.